Hello, everyone. Welcome to the first October edition, or what I'm calling Opportunity October of Trap Chat Live. Today, bringing you Wednesday Wisdom is someone I've known for a number of years. We used to
Yes.
work together. This is Miss April Faulcon. She is currently the Director of Talent Acquisition at Parsons. We worked together at another company twice, two
Yes.
different places. She is a wife, a mother, a new mom, an ordained minister, motivational speaker, author, one of the most amazing people I know. As you can see,
Uh,
completely so beautiful, light shining. And as I
Thank
told her
you.
behind the scenes, it wasn't until I saw her, one of her videos preaching, that I knew that she could even raise her voice above a certain level because, like I said, she is the sweetest person, uh, one of the sweetest people that I know. April, if you would please introduce yourself. Oh,
Well, thank you, Kirsten, for this opportunity. I've been super excited. It was kind of like anticipating Christmas, and you
oh,
knew something big was under the tree, right? just
yes.
so, and just connecting with you has been amazing. And I've been watching you.
Thank
As
you.
you watch me, I'm watching you, and I'm so proud of what you have established in your career. And kudos to you
Thank
for doing
you.
such an amazing job. And so, furthermore, and for this opportunity, I
Yes.
certainly don't take that lightly.
Well,
And
listen.
then, oh,
No, go ahead. I'm sorry. I'm sorry.
oh, I was going to say, and then for just information on myself, you kind of wrapped it up. But to be specific, I am married. I've been married for 29 years. Yes, for the love to the love of my life. Next
Oh,
year we hit the big 30. Can you get
yes.
excited? And we're gonna do it big for the 30. So more to come on that. Uh,
Nice.
yes, and from our union we have two beautiful children. Yes, I have a son, Timothy. He is 24, and I have a daughter, Breland, and she is 12. So Breland was our surprise blessing.
Yes.
She came at a time when we didn't expect that, so that's why we have the age gap. And but again, they're the love of my life. And now I'm a new grandmother, which has taken me to another level.
Yes.
Uh, and so Gianna is all of 4 months. She just turned 4 months.
Oh.
Yes. And so with my career, I've been in talent acquisition for over 20 some years. And
Hmm.
I'm that one person who started as a coordinator. I don't know if most
Yes.
people realize that.
No,
So
I didn't.
I started as a coordinator and just always tried to soak up everything, learn all that I could learn. And then over the years, I transitioned into recruiting, management, and now here the director of talent acquisition at Parsons, and I love Parsons. God has blessed me overall to work in
Yes.
some amazing places. um, you know Different challenges and scenarios for each one, but it's been a situation where I've been able to learn so much, in each place. And then in addition to that, I have another life in
Yes.
ministry.
Yes.
And I keep it all, running together, but I'm an ordained elder, preacher, however you want to call it. So, and then from that, I've branched what I call Precious Gems, which is
Hmm.
a ministry focused on women, helping them. And then that's evolving into Girl Reach For It. Some of the
Yes.
things we'll talk about a little later. So I think I've probably summed it all up at this point.
Yes, and as you can see, April brings them out. We got one of my former coworkers, Brian Gowland, who knows both April and I. Hey,
Ah,
Kirsten and
yeah.
and April. Hey, Brian, and then I
Hey, Brian.
Antris,
Wow.
someone that I've unfortunately never met in person. Unfortunately, but she calls me her little stalker because she was kind of my April at SAIC for a while, making
Ah,
sure I stay, stayed calm when I was, needed to, and made sure I
Yeah.
was okay. So she says, so good to see you. Thanks for sharing. All right. So
Aw.
you mentioned a bit about all the things that you've done, but I do want to, have you provide some insight for the audience. How do
Yes.
you effectively manage and balance all your roles as a wife, a mother, my mom? I love my
Yes.
moms. I had
Yeah.
two ordained preacher, teacher, author, director of TA, resume coach, fabulous person. Like, how do you balance all of that?
So great question. As technically on paper, it is a lot, right? So most days I don't really think about what I have to do in that regard. And with that, I mean, first I think I have to give credit to God who's allowed me to hit those different lanes. And then uh I I'm able to do it because I trust God to allow me to flow in those things. And I've learned to take the pressure off myself. So I'm not really that person that worries about what other people say in terms of how I do things anymore. I try to have a standard of excellence and I give myself grace. And then along with that, I have a wonderful support system. And that number one person is my husband. I call him my vision runner because, he understands my goals, my desires. He understands my assignments, my callings. Usually I share those with him first. And then as God gives it to me, I share it with him. I work out a plan. And then once he gets the plan, he runs with the vision. And
Oh,
so I even shared today the whole setup. He knew what was going on. He worked it out for me to have my microphone, camera, action, and
hmm
then along with that, some practical things. Like I love planners. So I'm always that one that's going to have a planner or a notebook. I write everything down. Even with the planners, I'm giving myself a extra plug. I'm in the
Okay.
process of creating my
Oh,
own
wow.
planner.
Oh, I gotta get
Yes.
that.
Yeah,
Yes.
so it's coming soon.
Okay.
But I love planners, but I couldn't find one that could handle all the things that I have going on in the different lanes. So something was like, April, create your own. You're
Yes.
buying it, make it. So with that, I have the tools, the planners, making sure everyone's on point for what's needed. We plan, we have systems in the house to get things done. I make
hmm
sure I stay connected with my kids all the time. So because my family is my priority, there's no like,
Yeah.
oh, I have to remind myself to talk to them. I'm in constant communication with my family. So that takes a lot off. And then other things come as assignments, if you will. So I'm not always operating in 100% for each lane. Some things it's as it comes to me, if that makes sense in that regard.
No, it absolutely does, and I love that you're making opportunities for yourself, especially in
Yes.
creating that planner. I'm definitely going to need to get that, and we're going to have
Yeah.
to feature. We're going to have to feature on the show, perhaps give it away, depending on when it comes out.
Yes.
Maybe a holiday gift, or a early
It's
New Year
coming.
gift. Yes, yes, yes. So
Yes.
let's stay there for just a bit.
Mhm.
What are common misconceptions that people have about you when they find out that you're both an ordained minister and a TA leader? And then how do you address those misconceptions?
I think the big one is, and it's a little funny, but I think they probably assume that I'm quote unquote soft, right? And in reality, I am. But I think because of that minister hat, maybe they can get away with certain things or I won't say anything. And so basically, I do keep both hats separate. I don't wear it on my sleeve. In the work world that I'm a minister, to me, you should be able to see it by how I operate, right? So I don't have to announce that when I walk in the room. There's something there should be something about me that they can see that's different. So I operate in that flow, but at the same time, I'm very intentional about how I lead. So again, I am soft, but not in a way where you can take advantage of me. So I track my team, I pulse them. So if they had any misconceptions, I think once they meet me, it pretty much goes out the window. And most
Okay.
people have heard about me before I arrive, if that makes sense.
Yes.
For example, I just gained some new team members at work, and most of them started the conversation when I had my one-on-one with them if they heard about me, right? And those things were good things they said. So I
Yeah.
didn't really have to overcome any misconceptions at that part with
All right.
that.
So how would you describe your leadership style, and can you provide, another example of how it's
Yeah.
influenced you and your team's success?
I think in terms of my leadership style, I operate from a perspective of a virtual open door. And I say virtual because we work remotely. A lot of my team members are geographically dispersed. I have people everywhere, but I run my team and my management style in a way that they can always come to me with any questions. I lead from a way that they know I have their back, and I try to be caring and genuine in my approach with leadership. So ultimately, we do have numbers and goals to meet, right? In our business, that's normal with hires, offers, everything. However, I try to build relationships in a way that I'm guiding them in a way that we make those numbers, but they don't feel the pressure of the goals.
Yeah.
And I try to connect with them and stay connected with them, uh, every day, because I have a lot of team members. So you would think, well, I can't talk to everyone all day, every day. But I try to do things where I'm still keeping a pulse on them, and they know they can always come to me with a question. I'm not going to be that manager who makes them feel bad for asking a question that, maybe I think they should know. And I stay in lockstep with them with weekly meetings. I do pulse checks once a month. So I have systems set up so that I can lead them in a way that builds a relationship with them, but also encourages them to produce and
I love
motivates them
that.
to produce.
I love that. And that's my next question. I mean, you just talked about gaining some members onto your team, but out here in, the market, we're seeing a lot of TA leaders even, and TA individual
Yes.
contributors, contractors, consultants, like everybody,
Yeah.
being laid off, and or their engagements have ended and they're looking for work. How do you keep how do you, or how do you suggest leaders keep their teams motivated when we're going through things like this?
Well, I think it's also about with that, and that's a great question because to your point, it's like every week you're hearing about a layoff, and in talent acquisition, we've been crushed. The industry's been crushed pretty significantly. So what I do with my team is I try to keep them focused. So yes, we understand what's going on around us, but no, that doesn't have to be our focus day to day, right? So I try to keep them inspired by the things that I'm saying to them. And some things could be as simple as we have a group chat in Teams. Good morning, happy Wednesday. Hope you have a great day. I'm here if you need anything. Simple things of that nature. Or when we have our team calls, I give them the space and the safe space, to be specific, to vent. I think a lot of times managers don't allow their employees to have the space to vent, and it's a fine line, right? So they can vent, but they're not disrespectful to me. So and it also allows them to see I understand where they're coming from, because I was a recruiter, in their place one day, I mean before. So again, it's about creating that safe space where they can share. If they're concerned, we can address it. I can, let them know what we have coming in the pipeline, how things are looking, and the outcomes are looking good in terms of us winning new work. And I can't control what goes on, but I can at least keep them encouraged with what's going on, giving them safe space to share, if they're concerned. And I keep our team tight with the group chats, the conversations. I celebrate them, all things that keep them motivated.
Absolutely. I did put a comment up that, one of the folks watching iInterest again is a very experienced recruiter, and she is currently looking for work. So to all the recruiters out there, shout out to iInterest, because, we tell job seekers who aren't recruiters all the time to be engaged and to network and
Yes.
be engaged with your
Yes.
network. And, 100% iInterest took the time she didn't have to choose this platform.
Yeah.
It took the time to come here, and I'm glad that she too,
Yeah.
took that opportunity to say, hey,
That's smart.
raise her hand and say, hey, I'm out here. So reach out to iInterest on LinkedIn, everyone. All right, so back to you. We're going to get
Yes.
off of TA, because everybody is not concerned about TA, but for those who are, make sure you come back at 5 o'clock for Wins, Wolves, and Wine, because April is going to be talking about her TA journey exclusively on that
Yes.
live show starting at 5 p.m. Eastern. All right, so let's get to your other endeavors on the other side of your life.
Yes.
You have you have a group called Precious Gems, and you recently
Hmm.
changed the name to Girl Reach for It. Can you
Yes.
explain the significance um, or the interpretation of those phrases, and like the context and how you use them?
Yes. So, Precious Gems really was birthed during the pandemic. Uh,
Okay.
I just felt this pulling to encourage people when we were all stuck in our homes. And then when you would look on social media, you could tell there was a heaviness. And certainly, you know, people were concerned about their futures, work, living. Death was all around us. So really, I just felt inspired at that point to help people by sharing a positive word each week. And when I look back, I'm not really sure how God allowed me to do that, but every Tuesday, I would go live sharing whatever God gave me for that week, an inspirational, spirited message, uh, again, to help people cope with the day to day challenges of life during that pandemic. And so it really took legs, and people loved saying precious gems. And I received a lot of feedback. I had loyal people who would tune in to watch, and I really loved it. And then things just started to progress. We got back into the swing of things with the with work life balance, and work pulling on me a little more. So I slowed that part down, and basically, oh, there goes. Uh, I thought I was going to beat that. Can you still hear me?
I can hear
That was
you.
my work phone. Okay.
No, it's
Sorry
early.
about that.
It's only 2:18. No, it's not supposed to be till 2:20.
Yeah, that's what I thought too. So it just came through my work cell phone.
Okay.
So, but anyway, I retired going live, and then
Okay.
I just took it with encouraging people on social media with different posts. And then along with that, I evolved it to podcasts, similar to what we're doing, talking to women who are making a difference, because ultimately, Precious Gems was really about encouraging women, empowering them to be all that God had called them to be. And especially as I was embarking on that journey for myself. And then just recently, um, I just had the revelation that I needed to change gears and pivot and call it Girl Reach For It. So now I'm in the process of changing the name, and
Mhm.
Girl Reach For It came originally because of of the woman in the Bible who reached to touch the hem of Jesus's garment.
Oh,
I
wow.
realized it took a lot of strength for her to reach to get her healing, right? So
Mm,
I took that, and that's what we need to do to get to where God wants us to be. So now my focus is strictly uh, helping women reach for it. So the name is more appropriate in
yeah,
terms of outlining my overall message theme for what I'm trying to do to help women.
I love
And
that.
Yep. So I have the posting that's going on. More is going to come from that with podcasts, some webinars.
Yeah.
If people only knew what goes on in my head, some days my husband's like, April, slow down. You cannot do all this stuff at one time. And I'm like, I'm sorry. It's just like a download that comes on me. So he's like, write it down. We'll get to it. But
Right. I love that. Write it down.
yes,
We'll get to it.
yes.
Speaking
But yeah,
of writing it down and getting to it, in June you released a book. Uh,
yes,
Hold on, "Bustin' Loose for Jesus," and
yes.
I'm going to put the link, the Amazon link, in the chat.
Oh, thank you.
Yes, so y'all get that. And put it up here. Come on. All right. I'm going. Oh well. I should have let it show. I'm sorry. Anyway, that's the link
That's fine. Okay.
in the chat.
I appreciate you
But
sharing it.
so, what inspired the book?
So the book came from a sermon that I preached back in, I think now like 2015 or so, called Busting Loose for Jesus. And the whole premises is based on the story of Esther, how she was able to do what she needed to do, which I refer to busting loose, to set her people free. So the sermon was based on what Esther went through and did to bust loose for her people. So that whole sermon uh, just did something within me, because not only did I preach it, it spoke to me, and it really set up uh, a roadmap for you will, if you will, for how God was leading me to bust loose in my own personal life and courageously do the things that He's called me to do. And in certain circumstances where I was too fearful to do it, and once I really got a grip of that, it was like I preached it and that I embodied it, right? And from that, I birthed the book, because I realized more people needed to hear that story. And I think the unique part about the book is it also parallels to my personal life. So I talk about my childhood, relationships with my parents, and different things that I've gone through, and how I was able to bust loose for Jesus to get to be the woman I am today.
I love that. So we've taken
Yes.
all of this time talking about all of the things that you do for everybody else, but
Yeah.
how do you stay motivated for yourself? Like, how do you inspire you to keep going?
Great question. I stay positive, one, with the people I hang around, my personal relationship with God. I don't wake up like, you know, smiling per se. I'm that person that wakes up like, give me a minute, then we'll chat. My husband does wake up like that person, which is funny because a lot of times I'm like, Brian, I'm not there yet, or I don't want to talk about this right now. But then at some point, there's something that transitions in me, and I'm like, I'm ready to go. Right. And I also believe that, and this took some time to develop, but other people aren't responsible for anything that I go through that may be negative. So, for example, if I'm having a bad day, you shouldn't feel that because you have nothing to do with that. So, I'm never going to allow my personal feelings or situations to negatively affect someone else. And I took the whole uh, thought process of, it takes a lot of energy to be negative and sad and all of that. And I do have those moments. And literally, they're like, okay, April, have this moment, but girl, get yourself together and get on track because you have stuff to do. Right.
Yeah.
So, and I just enjoy being happy, if that makes sense. I mean, some people are probably like, oh, she's fake or phony, but
No, she's
it's
not.
really me. I love
Yeah.
being happy with my team. Yesterday, I had a meeting with some of my new team members and the ones that have been on the team. And one of the guys said, this is like the most, I think he said, like fun or spirit filled team meeting he's ever been
Whoa.
on. Yeah, because it was just like everyone was happy, they were sharing, and I'm like, what you see is what you get. And I just feel like that just makes me a better person by doing those things. And then specifically for the tools I read, uh, whether it's a book or the Bible, I watch a lot of things on YouTube. I try to
Mm-hmm.
keep myself with positive things. Like, I don't like watching the news at night anymore or anything,
Mm.
with killing or violence, because it affects my spirit. So I
Yeah.
try to do things to keep me balanced.
Well,
I life coach.
Iantra said life coach needs to be added to your titles.
Yeah,
Uh,
I appreciate that.
so it
Something to
is.
consider.
How about we just sure all of the things. All of the things. I have so enjoyed talking to you and learning more about you. Like I said, I have the pleasure of even getting a little deeper into your professional life a little bit later. But now I want to shift to what I like to call, the fun part. But for me, it's all fun. Anytime
Yes.
I get to talk to folks who are inspiring and motivating and just keep me smiling like you do.
Yes. So
So
let's go.
let's go. What's the best piece of career advice you never took or you took later in life?
I think the best advice I have received, and I was delayed in taking it because I don't think I understood the full magnitude of what he was saying.
Mm,
But once I got it, I executed, and that was the word. Execution is key to any plan that you have. And a vice president shared that with me many years ago. He said, you're able to do the job. You've shared wonderful plans, but he said the key to making it work is execution. If you
mm.
execute, in other words, if you do what you say you're going to do, you'll be fine. And at first I was just like, oh, okay, thanks for sharing that with me. I appreciate it. And then later I had that light bulb moment and I'm like, oh, because that established credibility when I could execute,
Mm. Yes,
right? And
yes.
so once I had credibility, I was able to get the trust of the leaders that I had to work with. And
Mm.
along with that, and with the execution, I stayed in alignment with them in terms of making sure they always understood what was going on.
Yes. Love that. So you can't use, I'm gonna ask for another piece of advice, but you can't use that same one. I need another one. Um, what if
Uh,
what advice would you give to your early career self?
my early career self, it would be bold, be courageous, and be confident. Those are things I didn't have in the beginning. I wasn't bold, I wasn't brave, and I wasn't confident. So it was hard for me, in some cases, to
Mm,
execute because I didn't have the confidence to do that. A lot of people probably thought I did, but in reality, I didn't. And then one day it clicked. You know what you're doing, you know your business. Be confident in that, be bold. And so it was through prayers that I would pray before I walked into the boardroom or before I
mm.
asking God to make me bold, to make me brave and confident and courageous. And that's how I did it. But so that's what I would have told my younger self early in my career,
I wish
to
I had
exercise
used
those things.
I wish I had used my prayer time for myself when I would be outside the building
Yeah.
praying. I was praying for different things. I was
I can
praying,
imagine.
please don't let
Don't
me
let me
have to go
slap
through this
somebody.
again.
Oh.
Not today. Like
I can imagine.
yes, yes.
I
You've
mean,
been
some
listen.
prayers where don't let
You
me hit anybody or, reach across that table
don't
or
be
come
reaching
out of line.
for it.
Right. Don't let me reach for it and
But
accidentally hit someone.
well, I had that. Remember when I my resting office because I have multiple offices, but my
Yes, you
resting
did.
office like that really was a prayer closet. They had us down in that dungeon with no.
Yes.
And that one chair beside my desk where me and Gina used to make stuff happen.
Yes, I remember that. I think the first time I came down to see you guys, I'm like, this is where you sit or something I said. Yeah.
Yes. 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 That was the prayer room. That was the prayer room. They didn't
Yes.
know. They didn't know.
Right. That's a secret weapon. People need to
Hey,
exercise it.
hey, listen. What's that? Isn't that a movie? That's a
Maybe.
movie, I think. It's like something about the prayer room, prayer
Oh,
something.
yes.
Oh,
War Room.
War Room. That's what it's called.
Yes,
Okay. Yes.
yes,
Yes.
yes.
Yes. That's what it
So
was.
we
That was
have
my.
virtual ones, everything now.
There you go. There you go. There you go. So I know you've already written a book, but
Yes.
if you wrote a book about your career so far, what would the title be?
At this point, I think, and I am working on another one, so this kind of confirmed
Ooh.
it for me, but it would be along the lines of combining your passion and your purpose.
Mm.
Because I think
Passion and
so
purpose.
many people struggle along those lines of understanding their passions, right? What really gets to them. And then the other part is aligning with your purpose
Mm.
and how you walk that out. So it's almost
Mm.
like a how to get to that.
I love that. I love that.
Yeah, so I'm kind of thinking about a book or a webinar because I'm starting to get a lot of questions in that area.
All
Because
of
a
it.
lot of people, yeah, I mean, and it doesn't even matter the age, because at
Mhm.
that point you want to feel like you are fulfilling your life's mission, your purpose,
Mhm.
and reaching your destiny points, and
Yes.
understanding it evolves. So yesterday I may have been one person, but tomorrow I'm looking to improve on that and be someone else. Still April, but evolving.
Yes. Well, Iantress is in need of that book. She says, please hurry and complete it.
Yeah.
Um, I'm hearing April. Uh, and not just your
Uh-oh.
name. I said, not just your name. I'm hearing April. I said, listen, you came here. You know, like you've seen the show. You participated before in the
Right.
comments. You know,
Yes.
I set all my guests up.
Yes, that's true. That is true.
Yes, 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 yes. I live vicariously through all their excellence. But anyway,
Yeah.
what TV, book, or movie character gives you a glimpse of yourself?
Ooh. So for that, there's a popular show out. Well, now it's taken a different form, but Suits on Netflix.
Mm-hmm.
And there's a character on there. Her name is Jessica Pearson. That's her character name. I think it's Gina Torres is her real name. But
Yeah.
I love her character. And
Okay.
I get inspired by it. I see myself in it. I like the way she dresses. I like how she carries herself in a powerful way, but it's not in your face.
Yeah.
Like she carries a mantle on her of like, I run this place, right? But you don't get it unless you really watch her and how she moves. Plus, she's very creative in terms of how they problem solve on the show with the different cases. And
Mm.
she's well respected by her peers and the leadership. And it just, it does something to me when I see women like that. So she's my main one from a story. And then on the flip side, uh, there's, from a ministry side, she's not a character, she's real, and that's
Yeah.
Sarah Jakes. Uh,
Oh.
yes, when I see her, I'm literally like, I could do that, right? And my husband
Mm.
is usually like, well, yeah, you could, and right? He's my hype man too, but
Good. Good.
it just stirs something up in me, right? Like so when I see Jessica, I'm like, yeah, I could do that too. And then when I see Sarah, because she's more, I guess you could say, uh passive in your face at times, but when she's on
Mm-hmm.
stage, she's like, you know, I know who I am. I came to fulfill a mission. I'm going to get the job done today. And that
Yeah.
just really stirs something inside of me.
I
Sarah
love
Jakes
that.
Roberts.
Yes.
Yes.
So I've
Yes.
I've never seen Suits. I know.
It's popular.
No, it is, but yeah, I've never seen Suits, but I know the show, I know the premise, I know
Yeah,
everything it's about, and I know the character that you're referring to. So maybe I'll
yeah.
check that out when I finish
Check it
one of
out.
my. Yeah, I'm not going to tell people what my guilty pleasure is right now because it's it's so hypocritical. But it is a reality show. I don't watch reality TV, but this show I can't turn away. Like I can't
Oh
turn away.
gosh, that's
So
funny.
yeah, I'm not gonna tell anybody what that is. And no, I don't see myself in anybody there. That's probably why I watch it.
Yeah,
It's just
that's yeah,
it's just messy. It's just
yeah.
very messy.
That's
Um,
funny. And so
so
those shows, no shade, no judgment, no
yeah.
shade, no judgment, but they irritate me. Those type of
No,
shows.
I don't usually watch them, but listen. All right, I'm
I
gonna just
mean,
put it out
watch
there.
what you want.
90 Day Fiance The Other Way is one
Oh,
like I and then there's one I've never seen the original 90 Day Fiance, but I watched The Other Way. I'm all caught up, so I'm at the looking at the
that's
newer
funny.
like every week I get to watch a new episode to see what's going on with my people, see how they're
Yeah.
doing, see how their relationships are progressing, make sure that they got their immigration papers together, all that good stuff. Like I need to know. I need to know if they're getting their jobs. I need to know if they're okay. But then they have one on the UK, and that would again
Oh
unhinged.
gosh.
Unhinged. It's only two
I
seasons.
I can't
Unhinged.
even imagine.
I
I
love
can't.
it. So there you
Those are the
go.
ones I'm like, I can't even, I just can't even look at it for 1 minute. It just irritates me. But no shade, no judgment for people who love it.
Hey, no, I judge myself, but I'm still gonna watch it.
Yeah, we all
what
have guilty pleasures.
Yes. What is your go-to songs, or music genre when you want to hype yourself up?
I have two,
Okay.
and I'm laughing as I think about them because I can hear it in my head now, and I'm just like, so one is "I'm Every Woman."
Are
Uh,
you serious? The OG, the
yes,
original version,
the
or
remix by
Whitney
Whitney
Houston?
Houston.
Okay. Okay.
Yes, yes. So that's my main one, and then my other main one is "Just Fine" by Mary J. Blige.
That's a good song.
Yes. I like
Yeah.
what I see when I walk across the room and look in the mirror.
Yes. I like what I see when I'm looking at. Wait. I
Yes,
like what I see when I'm looking at me when I'm.
when I walk
Wait.
across, or when I look in the mirror.
What is the words?
One of the lines.
Like what I see when I'm looking at me.
When I look, when
Oh,
I,
somebody
oh,
tell
now
me the
I'm all
words.
confused. Yes.
Somebody tell
So
me the
that's
words
the
in the
gist
comments.
of it. I
Y'all
like
know it.
what I see when I look in the mirror.
Yeah. Okay. Someone tell us the words. Now. I'm stuck on it. All right.
Yeah.
So, and while y'all are doing that, tell everybody what is next for you, where we can go to support you and your work and your ministry, all of the things.
And thank you for allowing me to share that information. So they can follow me on Instagram with Girl Reach For It. I also on Facebook, I have Precious Gems with April Faulcon. So they can follow me there. That will eventually transition to Girl Reach For It as well. So that it's consistent information across the board.
Okay.
Also, if they keep a watch on those two platforms, they'll see what I do have going on. But as I shared, I'm working on my planner, which I
Yeah.
shared. I'll share it again. It's a
Yeah.
daily planner, and I've customized it to fit my life. So I am going to at some point release that. Plus, I'm going to have some webinars. I also have a focus on systems right now. I'm
Okay.
working with my church as the systems manager, helping to develop processes and systems to
Oh,
make us greater and to be stronger in the kingdom. So I'm really excited about that opportunity. And that's already afforded me a speaking opportunity at a conference that my
nice.
pastor hosted 2 weeks
Nice.
ago. Yes, on implementing systems. After all
Nice.
of those
Nice.
systems that, Raytheon, BAE, all of those trainings, it's like, it's so far in me that, yeah,
I got PTSD.
yes. But now I'm using it all for my good, right?
Yes.
And
Yes.
to
Yes.
help
Yes.
others to be specific. So not just for
Yes.
me, but for other people. to help them. And so I really want to expand that as well, which is a part of that purpose thread, pulling on that to help women be systematic in finding those things, their purpose, their passion, things like that.
I
So
love
more to come.
More to come. So I
Yes.
put everything in the chat and up on the screen.
Oh, yeah. Thank
but
you.
Also make sure, because she didn't mention it, but also make sure you check out Bustin' Loose for Jesus. You can get it on Amazon Books and Kindle, but buy the book.
Yes.
The end.
Oh, and I have one more. I'm sorry.
Yes.
Yes. I also have a Bible study guide for women.
Oh.
It's exploring gems in the Bible. So if they go on Girl Reach For It or Precious Gems, they'll see a link for that. And
okay.
It's an ebook. And if people have a special request, I can mail them a hard copy, but they can download it, have it right there. If God gave me GEM, the acronym GEM, to help women study the Bible so that they can gather, explore, and manifest. And I list the steps to do each one. And I give you the workspace to work it out. I have music playlist on there, even a crossword puzzle to help you learn, study guides, everything, what you need to study the Bible. It's all right there in one place in that ebook.
I love it. I love it.
Yes.
All right. So before we go, here's the words. So I like what I see when I'm looking at me, when I'm walking past the mirror. Don't stress through the night at a time in my life. Ain't worked about it if you I think it's supposed to be worried about it.
Yeah, worried about it if you
feel it. Got my head on straight. I got my vibe right. I ain't gonna let you kill it. You see, I won't change my life. My life. Just fine.
Yes.
Fine.
Just fine.
Fine. Fine.
Fine. Fine.
Pay your offering before you leave the church this evening. The doors of the church are open.
They are now open. I do that too at church.
Thank you for the B selection from Mary J. Blige. The word was brought to us by Minister April Faulcon. And it's time for the benediction.
Yes.
Y'all know I get churchy. Y'all should not encourage me.
Yes.
Anyway, make sure that you come back next week for Opportunity October. I am talking to another amazing guest, Maisha Cannon, who runs the Collab Lab. I have to say that slowly so I don't get tongue-tied. But Maisha's amazing. She's going to talk to you about all the opportunities that she reached for. So come back 2:00. And then if you have the time this afternoon and you want to see it live, come back and hear more from April. Thanks, everyone.
Yes. Thank you, Kirsten.